What is going on, y'all? It's your man Mike Titan, the Gaming Savant, here with my co-host Bryan Greer, and today we will be recapping the Dallas Cowboys 2015 draft. In the past couple of years, the Cowboys have actually been very smart with their draft picks, drafting needs over just going up and trading your first and couple of round picks for Morris Claiborne like they did in years past. So this year's draft, was it any different? Was it more the same? Did they revert back to their old ways? We'll soon find out. How you doing today, Bryan?
I'm actually surprised to see you on this show today. My sources have told me that since the Cowboys didn't draft a running back in this draft, that you were going to be going to Valley Ranch to try out. Because I know that you've been, itching to get on the field and live your high school dreams of being an NFL starting running back. Is that true?
I won't confirm nor deny it, but I will say that the lack of picking a running back in this draft did saddened me a little bit. So, I thought I'd offer the old Jones and Garrett my services, but, I haven't got any callbacks yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm pretty sure they are just waiting for Monday morning to come around and just on vacation. So don't give up that hope.
No, never will. I will finish this fight. but going into this Cowboys draft, me personally, I feel like they did a great job in the draft. They drafted for defense, which is what we severely needed. And they got a couple of positions on offense that I didn't necessarily think they needed to draft, but I can see why they drafted. Starting with the first round pick, number 27 in the first round, Byron Jones, cornerback from UConn, or as most people know him, the guy who set the world record of broad jumping at the combine. From what I've seen, this is a very physical cornerback, and the Cowboys didn't even really expect for him to be there. But seeing as some teams before the Cowboys made some questionable picks and went different positions in cornerback, he fell straight to the Cowboys' lap. I'm glad. There's a small doubt in the back of my mind, because the last time the Cowboys drafted a cornerback in the first round, it was Mo Claiborne, but they got him way higher, so there was more expectations than I think there will be for Jones. I just hope that he can come in and be an instant contributor. Starting off, depending on what happens with Brandon Carr, I see him starting off in the slot. I see Scandrick and Carr starting off at the 1 and 2, and then Jones just coming in on the slot, and then hopefully playing his way into that number 2 role behind Scandrick. We don't even know what's going to happen with Claiborne. Who knows if he'll be 100% healthy? Who knows if he'll even be in the right mind frame to play? But, I guess we'll just see what happens with him. But I just think Jones is going to be a good fit for this defense that Marinelli's trying to run. And I hope to see good things from him. It'll just be one of those things, because he is coming off a shoulder injury. He's still recovering from that. So it's just going to be one of the things to see if he'll be healthy enough by the time training camp starts to get put into this defensive scheme.
Yeah, he did come off, I think, a torn labrum. And like you say, I really like the pick because he is versatile. It seems like that he was team captain at UConn, and that he was also, could play safety. So, and that's we know that they need safeties, and that they need quarterbacks. And this also is a pick that forces Brandon Carr, I believe, to take that pay cut, because he would be making $8 million this year, which is ridiculous if he did take a pay cut. So after June 1st, I think that's going to force Brandon Carr to take a pay cut, because God knows that nobody's going to be paying him in the free agency if he were to get cut. So all around, I think this is a really good pick for the Cowboys. Like you said, they needed a quarterback, and I think they had to. I know Malcolm Brown was there from Texas, the defensive lineman, but overall, that first round pick I thought was something that they needed, and I honestly could not be more happy with that pick, honestly.
Yeah, agreed here. So in the second round, which I believe is personally your favorite pick of the draft from the Cowboys, they got Randy Gregory, the defensive end from Nebraska, who was, before the draft started, touted as a top 10 pick talent until he got in trouble for marijuana drug tests at the combine. and that made his stock drop a lot. A lot of people actually thought that he was going to go later, that he was going to go in the 3rd or 4th round, just like they thought Shane Ray was, but the Broncos traded up and got him. I'm not mad at this pick. 17 sacks in I believe a year and a half in Nebraska. That's a lot. So he's definitely a pass rusher that we need. And a thing that I think you'll agree with me this on that helps Gregory a lot is that he does not have to come in and be the man. You know, he'll probably be playing behind Lawrence and Hardy whenever Hardy gets off of a suspension, but he doesn't have to come in and be like, all right, we need 11 sacks from you this year. He can be a part of the rotation. That they actually had a pretty good rotation last year with Mincy, Selvey, Spencer when he was healthy, Jack Crawford. They had a nice rotation to them, and those besides Spencer is pretty much just people they just got off the street. And you know, Marinelli had good success, and then Tank Johnson whenever he came back from his injury. So I feel like this will be a good place for Gregory. The only thing is like the off field issues, which is, you know, kind of a red flag and why he fell to the second round. Will he be able to keep those issues from affecting his play? Meaning, will he be able to pass drug tests? You know, will he have any other off the field issues? And I think, you know, I don't know if people has noticed this. The Cowboys over the past, I would say maybe the past 6 or 7 years, has really gotten the thing of taking people with kind of checkered off-field issues and correcting them or having them play really well. It started when they had Pac-Man Jones here a couple of years ago, Terrell Owens, Dez Bryant. The Cowboys have picked a lot of, you know, players who have off-field issues that affect their on-field skills and actually done really well with them. So I feel like they've built up a culture and a support system in Dallas that a lot of players like coming here to help them get themselves straight, get their heads right, and get them ready to play in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. You know, talent-wise, like you say, Gregory is definitely a top 10 talent. But if they do have a support system, because they've already said that he has mentors and former Dallas Cowboys, Charles Haley and Michael Irvin, and he's already had a relationship with Michael Irvin. So I think that, you know, with Dez Bryant being able to mature while being a Dallas Cowboy with the support system they had in place with him, it'll be the same with him. Because if he keeps, you know, his off-the-field issues under control, then this will be a pick and a steal for years. Because he said after he was drafted that they will take over the NFL. That's a quote. You know, he told them, but he said that he will not let the Cowboys down off the field, and he will make teams pay on the field, you know, for not drafting him. So, you know, if you're a Cowboys fan, you're hoping that does come true, because he is an assassin on the field, and you hope that he becomes a player kind of like a Bruce Irvin who fell in the draft. And you saw, if you're a Seahawks fan, you know what he does, just rips quarterbacks' heads off.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully we can get the amount of production out of him that the Seahawks got out of Irvin. So
yes, and one thing also that he could do, I just want to say one thing else.
Yeah, go ahead.
That with Rod Marinelli, he could move around on the defensive line. When's the last time the Cowboys had a player where you just say, put him out there? Just put him out there in the front seven and just move him around. And you can put him, you know, standing up in the linebacker position, or put him on the end, and he could just go out there and just go for the quarterback. On third down and long, I can't wait to see him with Rod Marinelli's, you know, defense.
Yeah, it'll definitely be very good to see how Marinelli implements him in the defensive scheme of things. So going into the third round, which at first I was kind of like, don't know why they would pick this position here. Chaz Green, offensive tackle from Florida. As y'all know, the Cowboys offensive line is already stacked with Martin, Frederick, Smith, and Doug Free. So I was kind of, you know, I was like, well, what are you doing, Cowboys? You're taking a tackle. Now I do see that they did lose Jeremy Parnell to the Jaguars, who overpaid the crap out of him in the offseason.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know what they saw in him.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he got like 6 years, $32 million, something like that, like $8 million a year. So that's double.
You better give half of that to Zach Martin.
Exactly. I think that's double what we're paying Doug Free this year. But
yeah.
I kind of understand now because last season Doug Free did go out with the injury. He missed a couple of games, and Parnell came in and actually played very well. He actually, I think it was a Seattle game that he played really well in the fourth quarter, opening up holes for DeMarco and keeping Tony Romo upright in the pocket. So I get this draft pick now that you want to have depth on the offensive line because the Cowboys, and I've heard a couple of people say this, the Cowboys got so lucky last year that their offensive line for the most part stayed intact, that their main three stayed healthy throughout the entire season, didn't have any really serious injuries that kept them from missing games. So that was a godsend. Hopefully the same thing can happen this upcoming year, but you never know. The NFL is a week-to-week business where, injuries can happen, other things can happen that can keep people out from playing. So I do understand this pick right here, and I'm not mad at it. They already addressed their two of their glaring needs, which we'll talk about after this. The other two that they didn't address, and cornerback and DN. So I'm okay with them taking the tackle in the third round.
Yeah, I am too. At first I know that Duke Johnson was out there, a few other players, because running back is definitely a need. But, when you look at that offensive line and how powerful they are, if you put some depth to that, then that's really going to pay off as the season goes along and, games become more physical. So I was definitely glad to see the Cowboys go with the best player they thought was available instead of over need, and going in the trenches again, which they have seemed to finally figure out. You've got to win in the trenches. You got to go for the grunt workers, not the flashy, picks and like the Bears like to do every year. You've got to go and get guys who, are in the trenches, because that's what wins. Like I said, earlier, is that with the Patriots and with the Seahawks, you see what they win. Everybody looks at Tom Brady, everybody looks at Russell Wilson, but look who's in front of those guys.
Exactly. They have people keeping them upright. They have D lines that get pressure on the quarterback. So the trenches is where you start off with a football team, and it should be, in my opinion, your most important positions to have very good players there, because as you can see, teams that struggle either can't get pressure on the quarterback or they can't keep theirs from getting sacked.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that, I think really good GMs and draft scouts know. That's where the most important is. May not get all the attention, but that's how you really win. Yeah,
very well put. Okay, so for the rest of the Cowboys draft, I'm just going to name off the rest of their picks. They had one in the fourth, one in the fifth, and 3 7th-round picks, which didn't realize they had 3. I really wish that they would have traded for Zach Stacy, but,
Ask Tom Brady about that.
Yeah, that's true. But, since they didn't pick a quarterback, I can't really ask them about that. 4th round, they took Damian Wilson, inside linebacker from Minnesota. 5th round, they took Ryan Russell, defensive end from Purdue. And I'm probably going to butcher his last name, so please bear with me. First pick in the 7th round, they took Mark Niocha. I believe that's his name.
Nailed it.
Outside linebacker from Wyoming. 7th pick, they picked Lawrence Gibson, offensive tackle from Virginia Tech. And last pick of the draft was Jeff Swam, tight end from good old University of Texas. You have anything about these players?
Damian Wilson, I did like them getting inside linebacker, especially with, Sean Lee's injuries and everything. I'm sorry. I love Sean Lee on the field, but I just can't trust him anymore with him having 3 injuries. So they definitely need, depth at linebacker. And also, I noticed them taking a tight end once again. Hopefully, Swain, since you're a Texas fan, you can give me some background on him, because I need them to get somebody, because we can't continue to count on Jason Witten, every year. He's like an ageless wonder, but he's going to finally start slowing down, and they have to start looking for that replacement. So, if Swain can, provide some blocking and just a few passes, a few catches, I'm hoping that can be done, because they have to find a replacement for Jason Witten, because they're just not going to just keep going year after year and to do what he does.
Yeah, I do believe that Witten will probably start showing signs of digression, or more signs of digression, in the next year or two. I'm okay with the rest of this draft. This draft to me was a defensive draft, and that's what they addressed. I think only 3 out of their 7 or 6 picks was offensive, so they picked majority defense. Like I said, they got Damian Wilson, insurance at the inside linebacker, just in case Sean Lee or Rolando McClain get injured, because we both know that those two could go out at, just the wrong breeze could injure them. Getting the outside linebacker to replace Bruce Irvin, who left the team in the offseason, picking up another tackle, and then picking up a tight end. Not too big. Don't know that much about Jeff Swan, but if he's anything better than Gavin Escobar, I'll take him.
Yeah, Escobar played great for about 3 games last year, and then went back to having to give him an Amber Alert.
Exactly. So overall, me personally, I would give the Cowboys an A. Not going to give them an A+ because they didn't address the major need at running back, which is what they needed. But overall, they got they got the players they needed in the first couple of rounds. They got a cornerback. They got a pass rushing DN. They got a backup offensive tackle to replace Parnell, and then they got some subsequent players. So I feel like the Cowboys, this is just a continuation of the last couple of years of them picking on need and best player available and people that should be able to come in week 1 and have a supporting role on the team, helping the team out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to give them a B+ in this draft. Like you said, they're not getting a running back, with this being a very, deep draft for the running back position that did kind of disappoint me, because you do need a main running back. You can go by committee, but when the playoffs come, you need to know who's going to get that ball in the fourth quarter. And, that is something that they have to address now, in the off season by trade, because I thought that, they had plenty of chances to get, Duke Johnson, Tevin Coleman, Jay Ajayi. They didn't have to get Melvin Gordon or, Todd Gurley, but, that's one thing they should have done. And I think it would have been an A+ draft, but they just really believe in their offensive line and think that Darren McFadden, who we know can just step off the bus and break his foot, is going to, really provide a lot of yards for them. So hopefully Jerry Jones doesn't keep drinking that, Razorback juice with him being an alumni and think that Darren McFadden is going to be the guy.
Yeah, I agree. I would say the only downside to this draft is the Cowboys didn't address they need a running back, and they did not draft a quarterback for the future.
Yes.
Apparently, I forget the dude's name, whoever their third string quarterback is, Shaw. Apparently people are really, really high on him. So I don't know. I haven't really been able to see him play that much, but I guess this upcoming preseason we'll be able to see him get out there and show what he has.
Oh, I think you're talking about Vaughn.
Yeah, Vaughn. I'm sorry. Yeah, Vaughn. But for them not to even draft a running back, to me, that tells me one or two things. Either one, they just feel so comfortable with Darren McFadden and Lance Dunbar and Ryan Williams that they're like, we got our 3, we're just going to go with that. Or 2, they have something up their sleeves to either trade for a running back, get somebody in the supplemental draft, something. Like I said, we saw Zach Stacy go to the Jets for a 7th rounder. Who knows? Maybe the Rams are willing to part with Trey Mason too, or somebody else. I hope so too. I wish we could get Trey Mason.
Oh my God, if they get Trey Mason, just because he's a physical runner.
Just give him a 3rd and a 5th for next year.
Yeah, because he definitely can carry the ball if he saw him at Auburn.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what, but like I said, they must have something up their sleeves. And apparently, I guess this either wasn't the year that they wanted to draft a quarterback, or either that
that's like any year.
Yeah, that's true. But they feel like that their defense was their defensive needs outweighed them trying to get a project quarterback to start on so much. So maybe we'll just have to wait till next year and see what they have. But yeah, like I said, overall, I feel like they did a good draft. Just the running back and the quarterback thing just kind of stuck with me a little bit of not addressing. So apparently they either have some plan to get another running back, or they just feel comfortable with McFadden and Dunbar back there.
Yeah, I guess so, because like I said, they're one big hit away and hoping that Ramos back holds up. And, again, can Ryan Williams, can Lance Dunbar, can Darren McFadden carry the ball and be the lead guy? Darren McFadden, we've seen, he cannot carry the ball and be the lead guy. You need a lead guy, and everybody else could be part-time. So I don't know who's going to carry the ball 25 times this year, because they have proven that is their identity and that is what they are. So they cannot go away with that this year and think that Romo can go back to throwing 50 times a game.
True. Very well put, sir. Well, I believe that's going to wrap up our coverage of the Cowboys draft for the 2015 NFL draft. You got any closing statements before we get out of here?
Just very impressed and shocked that the Cowboys once again had a great draft. And I want to hear the comment section again from the Cowboy Nation, Cowboy fans. What do you think? Do you think they had an A+ draft? Or do you think they should have drafted a running back, quarterback? Or what do you think about everything that happened? And hope to hear some good comments.
Very well put, sir. I want to thank y'all for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also, please follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Links and everything will be down below to our links. So I'm Mike Gort. That is Bryan Greer. We will catch you guys next time. Peace.